Growth regions in plants. Growth occurs in regions where there are specialized tissues known as meristems. These meristematic tissues consist of a group of undifferentiated cells which are capable of continuous mitotic division. Meristematic cells have the following characteristic features. They are relatively small compared to other plants. They have a dense cytoplasm and they lack subvacuole. But these three characteristic features are related. The smallness in size is because of the absence of a subvacuole, and the dense cytoplasm again is because of the absence of the subvacuole that makes the cytoplasm continuous. Then they also have thin cell walls. So as shown here, meristematic cells occur in groups. They are small in size, they have a dense cytoplasm and a prominent nucleus, and they lack subvacuole, with their cell walls being thin. Now, there are three types of meristems depending on their location. First, you have the apical meristems. As the name suggests, they are found at the apex of the shoot and the root, shown in this diagram here. The root apical meristems and the shoot apical meristems. These are responsible for the primary growth, resulting in increase in the length of the plant. Because due to the activity, there will be an increase in the length of the plant. Then there are the second type of the lateral meristem or the cambium meristem that are found within the older parts of the stem and the root. So these are the lateral meristem. There are two types. You have the vascular cambium that are found within the vascular tissue, and the cocambium that is found beneath the epidermis. These lateral meristems are responsible for the increase in the circumference of the plant. So they bring about an increase in the circumference of the plant. The stem and the roots become wider. And the third group of meristems known as the intercalary meristems. These are found in the monocotyledonous plant only. For example here, where they are located at the stem nodes and bases of leaves. These intercalary meristems are responsible for increase in the length of the plant. So, responsible for the increase in the length. And this is why even when the grasses are eaten by animals, they still grow from the base because of the presence of the intercalary meristem that enables them to recover even after grazing. Now, there are two types of growths in plants depending on which of the meristems are involved. First, primary growth. Primary growth is brought about by the activities of the apical and the intercalary meristems. Primary growth produces primary tissues such as the epidermis, primary xylem, primary phloem, and primary parenchyma. And as mentioned, primary growth brings about increase in the length of the plant. Then there is secondary growth. Secondary growth is brought about by the activities of the lateral meristems, that is the cocambium and the vascular cambium. This secondary growth brings about the formation of secondary tissues such as secondary xylem, secondary phloem, and secondary parenchyma. And as a result, secondary growth brings about an increase in the circumference or girth of the plant.